A little. The nun is a little afraid to ask, so Ayakan probably won't. Father Yufei, waving his helpless hand, said, "You can go out and find me awake and go to sleep. I have no way with her." In your head is the African scene. Everyone remains the same. Sleeping on the banquet floor knows everything in a hurry. Sorry. Sorry, Ia-kun. I'm sorry about that. Father Yu-Fi hurriedly expelled Tay. It's not like Master Feng is welcome. It says treasure. It's just normal minerals. Of the kingdom only. Just a few years out of the Olive Kingdom. I always carry it with me as a lingering nostalgia. But think about being built into something useful. That's where the minerals should belong. Not SAO. The white needle lights up in my head. Aesthetically, Ra is the mineral of olive water. He was looking forward to seeing you. Master Liu Feng, look at this, Kim. Have you reached the level you want? The first thing I can say is weight. The weight of the iron is 781 gram. It's 387 grams of alloy. Twice as light. He Y account holding bar. The needle is bent using the force of the needle. It's not broken. Save Wind reviews praise the flexibility, also NDTO. Nicola was worried about telling Uncle Ayakan to be safe. And then Father Ufi bent the alloy back. Status quo. Recovery capacity is also very strong. Assessment room salary. Then he told Mina to fight hard. Mina holds the knife to meet the wind. Then hit the needle. Finished beating, Mina rated too hard. Mina's blow could only save one more scratch. This alloy is excellent. It's really the heirloom of heterosexuality. Father Yufei is very proud to hear that. It's like opening a flag in your stomach. Save the great man's praise endlessly. I know you'll be glad to jump up. Save the wind to call Nicola. The nun called Dalai to the castle for a ride. Nicole said yes and then ran outside. Father Yufei asked the master. He called Miss Daly. Is want to trade minerals with olive water later. Smiling, that's right, Isa-kun. We don't know much about olive water. I need some intelligence later. Father Yu-Fi sighed sadly and replied to Master Feng. Your plan is not possible. Are you full of worry? That right then and there at Ellie's house and our 7-7 echoes. The birds are flying around. I panicked and pushed the door right out. Go and blame yourself. I forgot to sleep. Clearly want to end intercourse. Kim Cho, save the wind. Lord. I said, run to the castle. I have not forgotten to blame my father. Why didn't you wake me up? Everyone on the road saw Yu-Fi screaming and flying. As fast as the wind. Look at each other curiously. In the Atlantic City Government Library. Liu Feng is talking to Cha Yu-Fi on the mineral problem of olive water. Save Feng face slightly moody curious ask at Sao. Maybe this mineral is rare. Luffy's father shook his head. Then it's not. It's just a normal mineral of olive water. Then explain. But the kingdom of Oli has a law. Trade in these minerals is strictly prohibited. All minerals. In the hands of nobles and kings 7. Don't say foreign. Even slightly poor residents. There's no such mineral. This ordinance has been in place for 100 years. There is almost no other race. You can trade with water. Mina suspected or asked why. Fong set out his explanation. About iron jelly can make weapons. This is a military resource. Kingdom of Olives like that. Maybe it's to prevent other countries from bullying. If so, it's troublesome. The wind in my head shows me sailing. To bring the idea of open access to free trade everywhere. It's like being held back by the kingdom of olives. I can't because of the ice. But to buy and sell olives. The exilic father seemed to be nervous like that. Then said, like this was before I took you far away. Maybe the kingdom will lift the ban soon. I heard someone say before, where chaos, there are man-made weapons that the kingdom uses. In my head, I have hope. The voice replied happily, in short, let Karina go to see if the situation will be better. Later trade at sea. Maybe there will be a kingdom of olives. Mina hand on chin speaking. If you are on a boat, you can go to the water. At Sao you must build a flying fortress. To go back. The other side of the room just ran to the door. I can't breathe pink. Suddenly, I hear people talking about me. The woman stood outside the door listening. After Mina finished asking, Father Yufei hesitated to say. Mina suspected or enjoyed an hour. Forced an hour. The guard raised his hand and hit Mina in the head. Stop what Mina wants to say. Mina cried out in pain. Then you can listen to Mina. If you can't talk, don't be curious. Mina's cat's ears dropped, her apologetic face answered. Liu Feng continued, they also have secrets. I don't want others to know that it's not the Sao. But Uncle Yakin, if you need any help, just say it. I like Luffy very much, so she's got a hard spot. I'll be happy to help too. Mina stood by. When you hear Liu Feng say you like Yufei, you say red. Young master, I noticed that Kun just nodded. And I heard that from Peter sitting outside the door. They all fell down and wept. When you cry, Africa stands up. His determined face ran into the shaky room. There's actually nothing that can't be said. Everyone saw Luffy outside. To turn out simultaneously, surprised face. Then there's fear. I have heard all that I said. Mina looked at Yufei without knowing what to say. Africa enters the room. Explain to everyone, I want to make a flying fortress. After listening to Luffy explain, what did Mina say? Luffy is the daughter of Princess Sao. You can breathe right there. I was also amazed at that time, even though I don't know what she thinks of him. I heard my daughter say that about me. I just scratched my head and laughed. Ha ha ha, what to say? I was embarrassed to hear my daughter say that. Mina is curious about the love story of Yufei's parents. You two know each other. Father Yufei recollection of Mother Yufei. Mother of Yufei. Unlike normal dwarves, they only like weapons. They are very adventurous. So often they run out of the palace. I was just a country blacksmith. I just want to build the best weapon in the world. In his mind is a picture of himself as a young man. Only know all day in the smithy, like LV now. But in the countryside, there's no AI that wants weapons. They're all hammers and axes and cutlery. Until that day, there was a very beautiful girl in the village. He remembered the first time he met his mother. She was so radiant and beautiful that she asked him, "You're the best blacksmith in Sao. So help me forge a kit. I want to take a risk. You only know how to blush." Then he continued, "I didn't know she was a princess. I thought she was a risk-taking girl. Like her smile immediately conquered me." After a lot of things happened, there was Ufi. But the 7-year-old is very focused on blood. Absolutely not allow Yufi to live that year for protecting Africa. I can only take her away from home. If you let them know you're alive, they're going to figure out how to kill you. Just poor Cho, Yufi. Growing up, I never met my mother once. I just listened and held my hand. Sad face. But in my heart, the pain of loss has dried up. I can't take it anymore, she said. Father in the room. I want to go out for a walk. See the girl strong. I don't want to cry in front of everyone. I want to go out to calm down. He nodded in response. Okay, be careful. I finished listening to the story. I also feel sad and sorry for you. I can't believe you two are going through something like that. Father Yufi can only say with a sigh. Ever since, we don't mention it to anyone else. Afraid of others hearing it. This is the first time I've told anyone. Mina feels very sorry for Yufi. It also seems that the air just went wrong. Then look at the wind. Young master, can you go and comfort me? I think her face is not very good. When Mina asked me that, I ignored her. Just pointed me and asked me. Mina saw that the wind was still hesitating and urged him. Of course, the nurse said. This is the first time you have to tell secrets to others. It is clear that in her heart, she trusts the young master. Of course, you need to take action. I don't think so. But Isa-kun might be better than you. Isa-kun scratched his head. I also think it would be better if you went. That's why I agreed to talk to you. He walked out onto the roof of the palace. I can see you are looking at the distance. Who carry a cruel sadness. Lao Feng said, Ra, you are here. You see the man who came. People you trust are very surprised. I can't believe my eyes. Save my master eye. Please don't be ashamed. Remember, it's not a shame. I'm a little surprised to hear that. I realized that my mother had never mentioned me. Master Liu often remembers his mother. I can only laugh when I hear that. My calm voice. Ha ha ha, I am Miss Ni. The brain responds faster than the brain. The Lord has no mother. If you listen to that, the black face is worth talking about. Your words hurt people like that. No matter what Liu Fong says, you find curious. That's right. Dear sir, are you looking for me? Let us get to the point now. I came to have a word with you. And put the wind down on its knees, his vision facing Australia, Africa. He gave his hand to rub his head gently. I'm like you. Never met my mother. I don't know if she's still alive. But if I could, I'd actually like to see you once. So I understand Miss Luffy's mood. Where are you? It felt like there was a source of warmth covering her. Clear away any doubt or suspicion she had with her mother. Save the wind with you, Phi promised. I promise you your will. I will definitely help you finish. The happy warm atmosphere enveloped the two. The Atlantic City, a year ago. This place is a small city. In the context of England lost, it's a poor, desolate city. People live in misery. Since the wind has come here, it's only been a year. Break the tension in the relationship between humans and animals. Then there's growing food. Military trade is countless times stronger than before. Atlantic City has become a thriving city. The boat is busy. The people live happily. How to make ice on a summer day. He invented it. This exiled master is really good. Then you say, that's the guy who pushed the price up the other day. To threaten exile. He's holding an ice cream stick. Her blood-red eyes glowed with appreciation. What a special pair of eyes. He walks the streets of Atlantic City. Just eating, he thought. Where did such a powerful figure come from? Never heard of it before. Maybe you can't write it down and send it back. Suddenly, a crowd appeared in front of the man. Huddled together. In the center of that crowd, there's two people fighting. A man holding Kier's neck yelled at you what you said. The rest of you are stubborn. The beast continued. Human beings are really unruly. The other name is still not accepted. This is because you caused trouble first. The red-eyed man saw this. It's full of excitement. Then come closer. Listen to what everyone around you is talking about. Someone asked. Others replied. Discussion. Sweet dumplings and spicy dumplings, which is better? Then quarrel others here that immediately suspicious. So boring. It's all about fighting. Red-eyed man feeling lately. That's a lot of chicken shit. The two Kier are still arguing. Come punch me again. Crouching is the first world. The spicy fart is the truth. The red-eyed man. Don't look at a person wearing it. White is not far away. Maybe it's baking. In the Atlantic City, near the harbor. Cardinal Baking and the red-eyed man meet. Cardinal Baking. A voice full of wonder. I can't believe it. In foreign countries you can meet people you know. Count Zeben. The red-eyed man is Count Subin. Count Subin saw him so surprised. The face is still cold. Calmly replied, so things like fate. It's so amazing. Cardinal Patton's voice dropped to question him. But Count Subin, you left the kingdom of nails. It's more or less unsatisfactory. Her Majesty, the Queen, is not long. Not enough experience without your help. I'm afraid a lot of things don't go well. Lord Subin heard this, but still as if not responding. Baking teacher has heart. Like your young lady with talent. Soon he could carry himself. That's right, I heard Ra. The master has been getting more and more sleepy lately. Even if you are old, pay attention to health. Packy teacher face down. Count Subin took a bite out of his pocket. Slightly irritated face, smelling slightly. The preacher deliberately continued. Even if the young queen is talented. But what I want to do is a little too much. Too much of anything will backfire. Be careful with the fire. He heard the threat, but was worried about the queen. Count Subin doesn't care. We have considered this ourselves. No need to worry. Count Subin doesn't care. As if he didn't, he turned away. Before you go, don't forget to say, I have to remind you. Count Subin, people have extremes. Only God can lead us further. You are a rare talent. That's why I'm telling you these things. Robin's eyes were cold, Master Packy. The teacher said, I'm always everywhere. There is nothing wrong with being rich and poor. Noble power is also. I'm in the day. They're just substitutes for the chosen one. Sometimes we have to think more about ourselves. About this, Count Subin probably knows better than I do. Count Subin squeezed the dumpling. Laughing, Master Ra Packy wants to buy it for me. The baking master laughed nervously and laughed. It's not just cooperation. Lord Subin held up a curtain to Cho. Into the mouth of suspicion or cooperation. The mystic Master Kim said, "Old Master family. The new teacher will be selected from one of 4 teachers. Now I just need to succeed. God's will in the Atlantic is the great. Until then, the position of head teacher will belong to me." Count Subin realized the real purpose of sending him. When you want to buy yourself, missionaries need a lot of money. So you wanted to find me. Robin knows his purpose. He doesn't hide anything anymore and asks for money. I believe this to be true of the rich Count Robin. It's just a small thing. Until I became the cardinal. You have the trust of the queen. No matter what the future, you can sleep on your knees. Even if you want that young queen. It's not impossible to hear this. Robin stopped the teacher's words. That's enough, Master Patton. I swear allegiance to the queen. Patton teacher. I would advise you to add one more sentence. It's not a family. What's going on? There is no God to save you. The KGB does not listen to advice. You don't have to waste your energy on this, Count Zombie. In the master room of the Atlantic City, Fong is reading the report. His serious face wrinkled. Ellie stood by and looked at the tense expression on her face. I asked what happened to the young man. Liu Feng Tong, about this time. Conflict of the inhabitants of the city. Why so much? More than most. They are all animals that cause such trouble. Ellie took the document. I also see that the problems are a little strange. I also met him recently on the road. Mina gives some reason. Is it because of too many people? I don't think so. Not true. The current welfare regime of the Atlantic City. There shouldn't be that much conflict. Then he ordered Mina. I brought Theo to investigate this. Mina nodded the young master. Mina then asked the young master how to investigate that. Liu Feng Tong, take a look first. Is there anyone suspicious? Often appear in the center of many animals. No, I suspect there is someone behind the devil. Then Mina went out to investigate. In the evening, in the Atlantic City, 10 family members have been resting for a long time. But there are some people who don't. There are 2 animals on the road. Go closer to a house. One looked around and one knocked on the door. A face from the inside looking out. Through the doorway on the door. After confirming the person who came, the AI opened the door. The 2 men quickly went in and closed the door. In the dark night, under the flickering candle, a voice echoed. God is everywhere. God's grace to all things. Inside the house there are many animals kneeling. Standing on top is a kin. A satisfied face when people bow down. Around the room can be lit by candles or electric lights. It's just flickering candles. It's a magical setting. Master Kim is standing above. The mystical voice says, as long as you believe in God, you'll get everything you want. The people kneeling in front of him shouted, thank God that we are sick. In the eyes of fools brainwashed by Master Akin. Akin the master, like a god. One who communicates to God. The whole person sparkled like Aseo, like God. They believe what the cardinal says. That's what God says. So believe me. They keep clasping their hands and raising their hands high. Say the same. We are willing to give our all. Gia Kim. The rabbi found the beast so easy to deceive. In the American mind, the animal is, of course, too low level. Suddenly, a child raised his hand to the master. He said God is everywhere. Why have I never met you? The teacher saw someone ask. Not salty, not pale, say a vague animal story. Others heard the boy say that. Like a mad, angry scolding. What do you mean? Your idea is, I do not believe in the existence of God. You are so brave. Someone just asked. When I saw everyone so strong, I was afraid. No, it's just me. People are getting more excited. Someone who has something to say. What else do you want to explain? I see you don't believe in the spell. Others say. Tell him to get out of here and shut down his trade. Chen, I want to see the Lord God. Damaged. The angel of the Lord is in charge of all things. Have time to meet the Sao. The colorful faces surrounded. The animal just asked. I see things getting out of control. The Taoist appears holy. You can stop it, you can stop it. Doubt is also normal. Then he opened his mouth. This is my master's mantra. It's for you. When you pass the test, when you really believe in God, you will receive God's grace. People who hear that believe a little doubt. Yes, the Taoist Kim. I will definitely pass the test. Trust God, so little hold back. The face of the beast before. It's a bit like art. When he finished, he broke the news. King, after successfully changing white to black, then nod your head and say, I will wait to thank God. He wiped off the head of the beast he had just said. The more respectfully others bowed their heads. Thank God. He lowered his head. His teary eyes were full of danger, laughing cunningly. Trust the Lord. There will be a day when God will give you eternal life. Take you from the world to the kingdom of heaven. Forever enjoy the joy. But in the head, not out of aesthetics. It was a stupid animal before that. The guards were led by Mina. Broke into this place a long time ago. I've seen everything that's happened so far. Mina and everyone stand up. Mina coldly flashed the ritual. You have to come with me for a ride. Cardinal Kim and everyone below, startled, raised his head. Private safety. Saw the fresh safety people jumping from above. He caught the angry cardinal in the cold for an hour. He turned to the animals he preached to. Tell everyone not to panic and protect me. Do not forget that all religion is from God. This is the Lord's test for you. God will lead you to the kingdom of heaven. The security team saw that Kim wanted to run. He rushed towards him and stopped. The animals have lost their minds. Listen to the teacher. I stood in front of him, protecting him. Don't expect to harm Kim. Master Kim is over here. Then lead the way for that rabbi to run away. Everyone below at the same time. Put your hands to both sides. Co-retired. You can't go near Mr. Kim's house, to be honest. Otherwise, we will not be gracious. People who have no faith. Don't stop me from following my faith. Linda heard these words with great anger. Hand clasped tight. Before the words that come out of these ignorant beasts. Kill them. This is our test. Kill them. We can go to the eternal angel kingdom. Suddenly, Master Kim realized that something was approaching. He hurriedly turned his head. A foot galloping at a tremendous speed. 1 hour flood. Mina threw a rock in his face. He was kicked a few meters away, mixed benefit. His whole body was lying on the ground injured. Full of suffering. Mina walked over to where he had just fallen. Stomping his feet on his chest, he announced, You've been arrested, Kim. In front of the terrified face to be born again. with his 7-day trembling. Mina threatened me with something to ask. You'd better be gentle. At the owner's office in Tae Duong, Mina gave a detailed report on the incident. Master has asked all the questions. Save, win, surprise. I paid like this yesterday, and I paid like this today. Suspicious or so fast. When Mina is praised, she lifts her tail, shaking back and forth confidently. There's nothing I can't ask. Mina showed such confident demeanor only. I can laugh except I don't know what to say. Must have. Save the envelope holding the open paper open suddenly wide eyes him. Inside is the words, pure light. It will soon be the Atlantic Ocean. In the kingdom of the gods and goddesses. The Pope sits on the radio. Down below are a lot of people kneeling. The room is decorated very far from the magnificent flower. The whole room glowed yellow. It's like money. The man sitting on the radio. The man with the ring put the letter on the table. Then tell the person kneeling down. Missionary Master, C.A. Flood, tell him to take his team to Atlantic City to help the Kim family evangelize. The man in white knelt down and took orders. Be careful to follow God's example. This man has an old gray-haired face. The Atlantic is cold. He said he picked up a cup. Then look at the pile of stuff next to it, can't help but be happy. A kin worth finding out the good city. On the table are items of the Atlantic. Its wine boxes and specialties. A new day to the bird tribe. The first is J.A. After a while on duty, they come back. J.A. landed in Ellie's room. I'm glad to announce that Master Ja is back. Smiling, look at the rope and say you are hard. The love is somewhat candid. Coldly replied, I only work by convention. Nothing hard or not. Said Daya, hugging the giant bag. Put it hard on the table. See if you have what you want. The bag is opened. Countless minerals and other things like wood pellets. Wood covered a table of all kinds of yellow. Blue, black, purple. Ellie looked at her eyes and couldn't he help but be surprised. So much. Ja came out to explain the truth. If you say I see anything I don't know, just bring it back. That's a lot. Suddenly, the wind has discovered something. He held his hand to a green leaf. This is actually found. The wind then asked, is there any water from this plant? If you hear that, take out a bottle. Contain something translated. She said you found plants. I took some. Save the wind and pour some solution out your fingers to see. I feel that this color has a taste and a feeling. Not wrong. The owner of the Atlantic. I no longer pay attention to any image. 2 hands lift the vase. His eyes filled with excitement. This is the natural rubber material. I said, go out and take Jaya's hand. Shake it up and shake it down. He praised Jia for doing well. You're really convenient. J.A. is a little shy. But the face still doesn't care. All of a sudden, I'm being complimented. The Lord did not pay attention to your last words. Happy to answer. Emotional outburst, even if you are really good at it. And it really helped me a lot. My face is getting more and more red. You finally have to get out of the way. Okay, stop talking. Even though these things have what you need, right? Do you see what the other things are? It's not easy to bring it back. Then look at what's on the table. He picked up a yellow mineral. to start spreading knowledge. This is the sulfur that I've talked about before. The secret weapon of the Atlantic. We absolutely have to rely on it. Then save the wind. Again treated into another jade green stone. This block is 2 sandstone, a mineral that can be collected. I don't talk more, I think in my head. If you find a mine, they can even be brought back to Kier for sale. Until then, you can buy a lot of stuff. Ellie pointed her hand at something black. This one is so black. I don't know if I can eat. Listen to Ellie. I also look at you a little confused. I don't see this either. Save that strange seed organ and look closely. Hands on chin, thinking like pine nuts. But it's a little soft to the touch. After watching for a while, I'm going to put that on the nose of the guy who's trying to smell. I feel like I used to know. Just look at that fruit. He seemed to think he was going to eat and shouted to stop him. This stuff can't be eaten. She told me that I ate one. Throw it in the fire. The resulting fire burns louder. It almost burns someone else's wings. Ellie was a little scared when she heard about it. You said it's dangerous. However, when you hear the word fire, you seem to get it. Get out of something. He thought for a moment and told Ellie. Ellie took a fire through. Ellie doesn't understand anything, but also quickly respond. Ellie brings to the fire. Put it in the middle of a space in the room. Think about what a guy said earlier and repeat it. According to what this can enhance the fire potential. I think through my mind. So in the composition of this fruit, it may be a fire extinguisher, or, as to confirm the thought, save wind face awake, I threw down the 2 I was holding. Just threw it in. The fire in the tank immediately burst into flames. That startled both the exile and Ellie. Ellie screamed for an hour. You have to jump out the back, otherwise your beautiful tail. To be the bait for that fire. After a soul-searching, Liu Feng smiled and thought, it's a new kind of energy. It can be taken advantage of. The land below is full of treasure. Spying in Yuban angiosperm is the right choice. One thought is done. The guard turned to Ellie and told Ellie to look down. I need someone to enter the forbidden circuit, mainly around the terrain of this fruit. There's also rubber and sulfur in charge. Road repair construction plan. We'll explore the forbidden angioma later. We'll use the supplies they provide. Ellie heard me. No further questions, answer immediately. Yes, master. Then she made a proposal. If so, Kai equals to evinced. She used to go places to explore herself. You see, it makes sense. The owner quickly agreed. You can arrange this. Ellie heard that and immediately left the library. I remember one thing you said in real time. That's right, save the wind. I have something to tell you. This time when I went to Sunvang Yuban, seeing the god of heaven, I was a little surprised to say something. I remember the scene I saw when. It's a city covered in clouds. It's like it feels like an illusion. So we're going to get a little closer. But it's very strange that, after we got close, I discovered that the angel kingdom disappeared. Keep the words in your head. Maybe it's an illusion. But this thought I didn't say raw. Then ask what that heavenly kingdom looks like. You heard the wind. Put your hand up and try to remember this. I see a lot of rooms. Lots of trees. Yes, there are streams. If you listen to me, ask more. Are there still mountains? Jay is quite surprising to hear that. Why do you know you've been to heaven?